unnecessary.
We've got a question about the food expenses here from Stuart, who's in Capeth. Good morning to you, Stuart.
Hi, morning to you.
Morning, Stuart.
Morning, Alex.
What's your question?
My question to Alex is an issue which he's just been talking about. My understanding from the press, Alex, was that you were not in London when you claimed these food expenses.
Aye, but I was in London, Stuart, in the recess in 2005. MPs often go to London. I'll tell you actually why I was in London. I was getting a rented flat in London in that year, and that's in the main why I was in London. I was also at, for example, the William Wallace commemoration events, which were being held in London to celebrate the 700th anniversary. Now, these are all legitimate parliamentary events. But, you know, can I say to you, Stuart, I'm quite happy, as every MP should do, to go before that independent audit. I'm absolutely certain, not just myself, but the other SNP MPs are in a very strong position. Nobody's been house flipping, nobody's had moats or tennis courts or duck islands or whatever it is. We're in a very strong position. But in terms of the parliamentary thing, then surely the lesson of all of this is that Westminster must adopt the Scottish Parliament procedures. Everything must be published, everything must be disclosed, everything must be above board.
Well,
and the only other thing I'd say to you, Stuart, is, you know, sometimes you have to think about what doesn't appear in the press. I mean, I read David Cameron a couple of weeks ago saying I take 2 parliamentary salaries. I've never taken 2 parliamentary salaries. All of my MSP's salary goes into a trust fund for folk in the north east of Scotland, every single penny over the last 2 years.
Well, we will come on to that in a second, because we have another caller about that. But Stuart, what do you make of what you've heard so far?
Well, I mean, are you absolutely saying, Alex, that you are whiter than white and that you've claimed nothing in extremities such as a food allowance when you weren't actually there, or are there any other issues you've claimed for?
Oh, well, I don't think anybody in the world can put their hand in their heart and say they're whiter than white, but I know my expenses are rock solid and I'll get through an independent audit, no bother whatsoever.
Yeah, one final thing I'd like to say is the lesson that we're all learning here is that all you politicians are in it to line your own pockets. That's all you're there for. And I mean, that is what this Westminster escapade is proving.
Aye, but as Stuart, a Westminster escapade, and the best you can do a political system is getting everything transparent, above board and online. Yeah. And listen, I haven't been lining my pocket with my MSP salary. That's gone to charities in the north east of Scotland.
Well, in the case of food expenses, of course, not so much lining your own pockets, but lining your own stomach. £800 for the months of August and September 2005, Mrs. Salmond. Isn't that excessive? Doesn't that show you're out of touch with ordinary people? Who spends £800 on food over 2 months?
Well, you know, the subsistence allowance, which is what it was, that's what it is in the Westminster expenses. And, you know, I claimed the subsistence allowance that you were allowed. That's what you were allowed to claim.
You didn't have to claim it, though.
No, you didn't have to claim it, but, you know, I didn't claim the maximum for the most of the years. I mean, last year, for example, a total maximum allowance of £24,000, I claimed £580 in total. Yeah. So I didn't claim 23,000, whatever it is, 480 quid. Now, you know, I'm not saying I'm whiter than white. I just think that'll stand up to examination.
Okay, on that question of your 2 jobs, Alistair,